Ah, yes, planting 2023, planting the winter pasture. Step one in the process, make sure the drill's actually moving grain, because if it's not, then I have to empty out all the hoppers and clean the little wheels that dump the grain out. I've only done that a more billion times. I'd rather not do it again. So that's step one. I've already got the roller chains lubed. It was left down from last year. I'll fix all those drop tubes later. We got it all hooked up there. I don't want to show you my license plate just because. It may not matter, but I'd just rather not right now. So got the pickup running. That'll be fine. We ain't going that fast. So before I get in there, what I'm going to try and do, I got to pull it around to where the second drill is at. This is the main drill. I got to get it to the second drill because we'll hook all this up and we'll do the big field, and then we'll do all the smaller pieces with the single drill. But first step, because I had to take this apart here to get the hitch to move to hook it onto the pickup, now I have to get this little hole back in line so that that pin there, which you can see will spring through and lock in place. So stickers are everywhere, man. So what we're gonna do is hop in here and we're gonna go that way and see if we can lock it in place. Now I'm gonna try and hold you guys back here. You tell me if anything falls off, okay? Okay, I can't do that. You're coming with me. Oh, it loves it. Huh. Okay, that didn't work how I wanted. What did I do? Oh. Yeah, I didn't actually want to do that. So we'll just I guess. Oh, that pin's bent. Awesome. Oh, that's just mint. Oh, yeah. I'll get those hoses out of the way. Okay, so this is supposed to we need to go back in, so I'm still gonna try and turn that way. I think it was actually working. I just spread it out first. We'll make the old F-250 work. Ah. Is it coming together? I don't think it's coming together. Hang on now. No, it's not working. All right, we'll just keep going. I'll bring you guys back when I get it fixed. All right, would you look at that? We got her back to center, and all I had to do was pull up here to the gate and get past where this hill starts to go down, and I was able to push it a little bit, rock it, and then get on the side and pull it and rock it a little bit, and then eventually it rolled over. But I tell you what, my back's gonna hurt in the morning. And that about whipped me. I am exhausted. So now we get to begin our maiden voyage through the other gate we gotta go through, and guess what? We're using 4x4 action to accomplish this task, because Dad just worked up that strip. That's where I gotta go, up by that meter house. That's the other gate to go into the big field. So let's work on that. I just got done doing a bunch of front end work to this. Ran the 4-wheel drive the other day. It seemed all right. We're gonna make her work now. Oh yeah, take a look at that. I don't know if you can see in the mirror there. We are farming now. She's working. Look at that, beautiful. Now, I don't know if any grain's coming out. I'm pretty sure there's grain coming out in some spots, but man, look at that. It's just making everything nice and pretty. I had to come out here and turn around so that we could get a straight shot at the gate, because this is only like 16 foot wide. And oddly enough, you can't turn on a dime with a grain drill. Who would have thought? All right, I have successfully moved this drill next to the back drill. The old F-250 did pretty good. I mean, I wasn't running it hard, but you know, you throw that transfer case in low range, man, it wants to go. So I was looking everything over before I turned the camera on, just because I don't want this video to take forever. I'm gonna try and show you guys little bits of every aspect of the planting, because I've never really done that on the channel. So yes, all the seed tubes are shot. I've got a plan for that. It's not a good plan. It's a lot of labor. But what isn't a lot of labor around here? We got to do everything the hard way. Oh my gosh, look at the stickers. It was so wet this year that the cows could not keep up eating stuff. And we don't have a mower for pastures, which we're going to try and remedy this winter. But freaking stickers are everywhere, man. I mean, look at that. Look at all that. I mean, that's not the worst, but still. So back to the drill. All the seed tubes need to be fixed. The grain wheels, like right here, those cups and the wheels that spin, that drop out all the grain, they are spinning, so that's good. But I need to empty out this whole drill, and it's quite full. It's about to there, I think. And I need to empty all this out and clean it so that we're flowing grain good. That's going to suck. Putting all the tubes together is going to be a day project. I've got a solution for that, don't you worry. And then I checked all the tires. They're awesome. I don't have to replace anything, which is lovely. These hydraulic hoses are brand new, so they should be fine. Those hydraulic hoses leak, but as long as they don't explode, I don't really care. They should be fine. They've run this long, they'll run a little longer. Did you know that this back drill, this is like 36 feet of hose right here. Both of these hoses are 36 feet. To go from here, through the other drill, and all around up to the tractor. It's a mess. So, these seed tubes are not really in much better shape. I don't know what tears these things up. I don't know if it's the rats. I don't know if it's like wind. I don't know if it's an animal sticking its head around in here. Probably a raccoon. Freaking raccoons. They never leave stuff alone. So, got to fix all that. But this drill is almost empty. It needs to be cleaned. I know that for a fact, because what happens is, and you can see where somebody's silicone this at one time, and I need to come back in here and fix it. That's silicone or gasket maker? I think it's gasket maker. But you know, see, stickers everywhere. Good grief. Ugh. So we come up here. This is supposed to be set up for fertilizer, but we don't use that. So the front box is grain, and what happens is, I get down in here with my hand. Ooh, that's nasty. Yeah. What happens is that water will get in and rot the grain, and then it'll try and sprout and do all sorts of nasty things. So I'll have to clean this one out. It's mostly empty, like I said. And then I'll have to clean the other one out, and I'm going to re-silicone these damn drills because I'm tired of cleaning them out, and we're supposed to get a bunch of rain. So it may be that we plant a little bit, it rains for 3 days, we have to wait a week, and then we come back out and plant some more. And I don't want water getting in here in the meantime, because that's just no fun. So that's all good there. And the final little bit of information I will leave you with, on these drills, let's see if I can stand up here and do it. There's an arm there, it's running along the ground. That's a straight arm, and then we got this other arm that's curved, and we fixed that before because of just the way this is set up. So the way you hook these drills together is you take the curved arm and you put it on that point right there and hook it on, and then you hook the straight arm to the front point. Then you unpin the drawbar on the main drill and you swing it out so it's straight, and that's how you pull both of these drills. And you might be thinking to yourself, yeah, you know, that sounds kind of jankety, and it very much is. The only direction you can really turn is left, which, I mean, that's not the end of the world, because the disc that we use, you can only turn left with it because it's offset, and it doesn't like to turn right real sharp, the disc or the drill. And you can't back up with the drill when it's down like this one is, which is why I had to make the big circle to come out here with it. That's all right. This one's still up. I don't know why we left it up, but this other one was down. Whatever. But we'll get this all hooked up, cleaned up, rebuild the tubes, make sure the seed's flowing, lube up all the chains, And then I have to go get grain. Don't know when that's going to be. This is like September 14th. I'm so behind on making videos for this channel. Stuff's been just slow. But after this is all hooked up and ready to go, that pickup is going to go get grain. Usually we would struggle up with the 6.4, but the 6.4 is shot. Those of you that are subscribed to the channel, if you watch everything I put out, first of all, thank you. But second of all, if you're waiting on Power Stroke videos, you're going to be waiting a while, bud, because we're planning on rebuilding it, but that costs a lot of money that we don't really have to spend at the moment. So the V10 is going to go and haul the grain. I'm sure it'll do okay. How many miles? 206,000. It'll be fine. It made a lot of trips up there to the same location to get hay last winter, and the front end was just struggling. But I fixed all the front end I fixed all the front end problems, so we should be good there. But I'll bring you guys back when it's time to get grain, because cleaning the tubes and cleaning the drill, that's not exciting. That's pretty boring. So this is going to be a long discombobulated video just because I've never really shown much of how we plant, what our setup is, and the order of operations. So I thought I'd throw something together just to keep the feed alive. I've got another video I'm working on, but I've been busy overhauling a motor in that little Ford Focus. Zippy, did a video on Zippy. Love to do another video on Zippy, but it's in a shop that is not mine, and it's a business, so people are coming in and out all the time, and I just don't want to try and video in that environment. So I've been doing that, and that's ate up a lot of my time, and now we got to plant, and it's mid-September, which is typical, but we're going to be done late September, which is awesome. I'm so thrilled. Join the club, right? That's what everybody's saying. So I got to get started on this. We'll see you guys in the next segment of the video. All right, well, we got the grain trailer hooked on the pickup. I just used the skid steer, wrapped a chain around, picked it up, and pulled the legs out, and then just ever so delicately set it on the pickup. And that worked pretty good. We have it set up, because I've never really talked about this much before, because we don't have a truck to go get grain. So we use this dump trailer that was made to haul grain, and we've used it for the past, I don't know, 6 or 7 years. And it used to have an electric over hydraulic unit on it to run that great big old hydraulic cylinder there. And there are two problems with that. The first problem is that electric hydraulic motor was used when we put it on there, and so it was already weak. And the second problem was it didn't work half the time, and eventually it just quit completely. So we modified it to where we could hook it up to the tractor, because initially we were going to have it so we could run it off the tractor or the electric hydraulic, which is why those couplers are on there like that. But that didn't work out, so we can hook it up to the tractor with this, but using the skid steer is a lot easier because Dad's still out trying to finish working up ground. So I'm back here getting the trailer ready. But the skid steer works a lot easier because, well, one guy can do it. That's the biggest thing, because where we park this, it's on a hill, and so whoever's in the tractor has to sit there with the clutch and the brake in, the clutch in and the brake holding it so that the tractor doesn't roll. And then you have to get like really, really close, because the tires come, to here, but the remotes for the tractor are recessed back in about another 2 or 3 foot. So, it does make it challenging. And of course this does unravel more, but I wanted to mention that a little bit about the grain trailer, because I don't think I've mentioned much about this before. I did a video about me putting it together one year. That wasn't, one of my better productions, but it's there if you guys are really interested in how the sideboards go on and all that. So that tire does not hold air. All the others are good. Usually the spare tire up there is the one that doesn't hold any air, but it still has air in it, so that's awesome. I think this one almost always goes low every year. There's one of these tires that always goes low every single year, no matter what. But it should hold enough air for us to go up where we're going, get the grain, and come back. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier or not. I know this video is all over the place. I'm just filming stuff randomly. The deck here, the bed, we were going to put a piece of fiberglass over it, and we had the piece cut, but we are running out of time. It is late September now. Today is the 24th of September. So we are very much, 2 to 3 weeks behind where we really wanted to be planting. So we don't have time to mess with the fiberglass, and that's also part of the reason the video's all over the place, because I'm just filming a few minutes here and there. So yeah, I'm gonna go put this together. I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's done, and we'll just go from there, see what else I can capture. Well, there goes Boss Man off on the first trip of the season. It's kind of a pain in the butt to hook both of the drills together, but it is what it is. Got them on, got them cleared up, got the tubes set. So, I mean, we'll find out in a while if it's going to plant or not, but it looked like everything was moving grain. So I'm going to bring you over here to the grain trailer and show you. Give me a second, I can only walk so fast. There's the rye. Good stuff. So, yeah, the grain trailer pulls hard, and the F-250 there was really working to pull this thing, and we didn't pull it back fast, but I'll have to, one of the things I'll have to do is reinforce the end gate, because it's just not having it. It's leaking in here. I had to put that on, beef it up. But yeah, this is what the trailer looks like, all assembled. It has been lovingly cared for over the years, and I say that sarcastically, just to be clear. Originally it was just the red sideboards here, and then we added OSB a couple years ago because these had just been taking a beating. And then of course we had these on, and we put plywood over the top. It's not to keep the rain out so much as it is to keep the raccoons out, because they like to get in here and make a mess of things. But yeah, this thing has just taken a pounding over the years. These are oak, and so you can imagine this is a 16-foot trailer. So 16-foot oak sideboards plus all that OSB on. These are some heavy damn sideboards. Let me tell you, I have put them on enough to know that they are heavy, but it's all bolted together, and it may look sketchy, but I promise you it holds. It does every year. The legs are struggling. They've been bent for a while, but that's what all this looks like. So I hear Boss Man coming back. I think we got a problem with the drill. So here we are a few days later with so much wind, because it's Kansas. The wind is it's either always on or always off, and there's no in between. So filling the drills back up. This is the front one, and then I got to fill the back one. I've just been using buckets because, well, can't move the drills with the tractor's not here, and I can't tip the trailer up with the tractor not here. So, got to do it the hard way, but that's all right. So, I'm trying to think. The last segment you probably saw was, I was saying, Dad was coming back from the field because he just started out with the drills. And as you probably see, the lack of discharge hose on here, it was not working. It wouldn't stay on, so we had to suck it up and buy the seed tubes from John Deere, and they were not cheap. But, what are you going to do? You got to have them. And John Deere was able to get them that day that I called, so that was nice. And got them on the following morning. And we've been drilling some. There's some spots out here on the big field that Dad said needed to be worked down a little more. So this morning I put a bunch of bearings in the disc, and he went and disced those spots down again, and then he's out spring toothing now, and when he's done he'll come back and get the drills, and we should be good to go. What's this? Yeah, see, that's just a rye stock. I was gonna say, the problem with using a wood sideboard grain trailer is that sometimes you'll shave off pieces of that OSB and it'll jam these cups and wheels and they won't work. But it seems to be drilling good. Both drills are emptying out evenly, so I can't ask for more than that. So the seed's going somewhere, and hopefully in the ground. I don't know where else it'd go. So we're getting there. Slowly but surely, we're getting planted, and then when we get done with the big field behind me, we've got that piece along the neighbor, and then there's 2 more pieces that way, and they're real tiny. But for the rest of it, we'll drop to the single drill, because trying to move both these drills through the gate is an absolute nightmare. So we'll get, at the very least, we'll get the rear drill emptied out, and yeah, it's been emptying good, but we'll get this emptied out, and we'll disconnect and go use a single drill when we're done with the big field. I may have to come here and bucket the rest of the grain out, but that's all right. So, get the trailer emptied. I'll have to go make another run for grain because we can't fill the trailer all the way full. The old F-250 there, that old V10 is not having it pulling a full load of grain. It was struggling pulling this thing about 2/3 full. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna get back to moving grain, shovel some more in a pile, bucket more out, and maybe come back when the wind's not quite so intense. It's wearing me out. Today is October 2nd, 2023, and this is the latest we have ever been planting pasture. Yesterday, hooked back onto the trailer, got another half load of rye, so we're good to go. But as I get to the location last night, and I just got done filling the trailer, and I was getting ready to leave, and Dad texted and said he blew out the dolly wheel on the back drill. And thankfully it was the back drill, because if it was a front drill, I would have had to take this off and put it on the main drill. And we don't have much left to do on the big field, but it's enough that, what did Dad say? If he had another 30 minutes, he could have been done. And we were going to disconnect from the back drill anyway, you know, but still. And I think, I'm going to have to look later. I haven't looked yet, but I think it's a John Deere special, so it's like $300 or something stupid. And yeah, so there's that, which that tire is probably more expensive than that tire, because that one was like $260. I had one of those put on last year, I believe. I had to put one of those on. So my goal for today, well, not maybe entirely today, but for right now, is to empty out this back drill, which is about 1/3 to half full. I gotta empty it out into the main drill right here. Let's see, how much do we have in this? About the same. So the main drill should be pretty well full by the time I'm done, which will be nice. You know, I had to adjust this one yesterday because it's putting out grain too fast, and if we had adjusted it down when we started, I would not have had to go and get a second load of grain, but we did, so oh well. And speaking of grain and putting too much on, probably somebody's going to be curious as to how much rye we're putting on, and I asked Dad that yesterday, and he said we're probably putting about 50, 60 pounds an acre on, something like that. You know, it varies. But the interesting thing about this drill, both of them actually, and I'll open the fertilizer box here because I'll show you on their chart. This is a double run drill, okay? So it's got 2 feed wheels. It's got a smaller one and it's got a larger one. And the larger one is made to drill like these bigger grains here, and the smaller one is meant for more precise drilling of smaller grains, like all this. So you would think, okay, we're using the smaller side with the rye section, and we've got it all set and figured out because we're using drive number 4. I figured that out yesterday. But no, we're not doing that. We're doing this chart because whoever had the drills before us was using the big wheel, and I think they were planting wheat. So on drive number 4, at about lever setting 15, we're putting, it says 66 pounds of wheat, which we're probably putting a little less than that in rye on, because, you know, wheat is a denser, it's the I don't know what you call it, the fruits are a little larger, whatever. But the point is, this big wheel, they were all set on like 20 on this main drill, and so it was drilling out, I think these hold 30 bushel, I think, is what these drills hold when they're full. 30 bushel, something like that. So 30 bushel of grain was disappearing over about 30 acres when normally we would do 60 acres. And the reason that these were all the way open is because water would get in here and it would create a mess. And so there would be chunks of stuff that would clog the feed wheels, which I guess I'll show you here. There's a good example of one. This is the larger side right here. And this, since we're not using this slot, you can kind of get in there and see they've got the numbers set for everything. And it's a pretty neat setup they have, because you can drill pretty much anything you want. But the smaller side that you're supposed to use for the smaller grains is right there. If I get the camera to focus like that. So yeah, we've been using the larger side. I had to tone it down a little bit. And as I said, we had them open all the way on most of these, because the past several years we would get water in here and we'd scramble around and clean them out. And there would always be chunks left. And at one time we tried sealing the trailer with foam, and the OSB would peel off sometimes, and the foam chunks would come off, and it would just clog stuff up. So we opened this all the way on a lot of these so that would pass through and go ahead and drill. But apparently that has not been as much of a problem. Knock on wood. And so it had to adjust them back down, which I'm not complaining. It's not the end of the world, but I kind of wish we had done that earlier, because I didn't want to go get grain yesterday. It's about a 4.5 to 5 hour trip up there and back. But I do like this, that this drill is so versatile, because you can use it for everything. And we're thinking about, I don't know if we're actually going to do it or not, we're thinking about doing either soybeans or milo next spring. Planting soybeans and or some milo. And I don't know that we're going to use these drills for it. I don't want to. I would like to have a different set of drills so that we don't have to keep changing this one around, because I'd have to change this. We have to set all these drills for soybeans or milo. I'm not really sure how big milo is, but we'd have to set the drills differently and then change them back to do rye later. I don't really want to do all that. So if we get another set of drills, that'd be awesome. But for now, if we have to use these, we have to use them. At the very least, we're going to have this main drill ready to go for the smaller pieces. And that segues into the next segment that I want to discuss, because I haven't been clear on it, of how much left do we actually have to plant. So if I understand correctly, we have about 200 acres we plant of winter rye every year, okay? So there's the big field out here, and it goes around, and then there's a chunk over there to the north, and then there's this Bermuda bottom, and there's another piece over on the east side. And I think Dad is, the sun's glaring on the camera here so I can see. All right, so right there is a terrace. In there somewhere is a terrace, and I think from that terrace this way is all Dad has left to do. So it's not much. It's probably only about 20, 30 acres, something like that. Based on how much he's drilled, I would say about 20, 30 acres, because you can do about 60 when these are set right, or the way we have them set up. You can do about 60 acres before you have to come back and refill. So he's probably got about 20 or 30 acres left on the big field. And then we've got another piece right there. Find my finger. There's a fence there. That's the neighbor. This is us right here, this weird strip on the hill. I'm sorry, I'm looking different. It's all there. It kind of, there's a narrow neck there, and it comes back. And then there's this piece directly to the south. And I don't know how big these other pieces are for certain, but this one has to be worked. That one is ready to go. And then there are two more pieces back that way over in the home pasture, and they have to be worked as well. And they're just going to get disked and spring-toothed, I believe. Well, this piece right to the south, the cows walk over it all the time, so we might plow it, disc it down, and then spring-tooth it, and then drill it. I'm not entirely sure. It depends a lot on time. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, because today's Monday, so tomorrow's Tuesday. It's supposed to rain Tuesday, and probably Wednesday, and so I don't know. A lot of it depends on that. The big field is the thing we want to get planted right away. The other stuff, if it gets planted a little later, not the end of the world. And we're looking at saving the smaller pieces for seed. We're thinking about it. Not really sure if we're going to do that or not. So, in the meantime, and I've already gone on for 9 minutes. This is going to be a long-ass video. If you guys made it this far, if this got put together somehow, man, I really appreciate it, because there's a lot of stuff. I've just been taking random snippets of footage as we have gotten into planting, you know, because I thought I'd throw something together. And if I do, it's going to be freaking long. So if you made it this far, bless your heart. So, yeah, that's what's going on. That's what we have left to do. I mean, really, we got most of the field planted. I'm not going to complain too much. You know, I'll take it. It could have blown out in worse places, and Dad did manage to limp back here. And the rim's not screwed up. I don't know. I need to get a tire size off that, because I imagine it's a special. Well, we can go look at the main one here. Why not? Video's already long enough. Might as well waste more time, right? Let's see if we can get a number off this. Oh, man. John Deere special. So, you guys... does it not say? Hang on here. All right, well, we got a part number on the other side that looks like M23U or M230, not sure which, but that's a John Deere part number. And then we have a size here, which looks like, and I can actually see a little better through the camera, so it looks like 20 and a half by 8, 20 and a half, 8 by, I don't know what that is. 20.58-10. Okay. We'll have to, I think that's a good year. But that looks like, that is a weird ass tire size. I have never seen a tire that size. That's weird. Yeah, that would be about right if it's a John Deere special, because why not? That's just something I hate about John Deere, but we're not going to get into why I'm not a fan of John Deere right now. Excuse me, maybe later. Man, those donuts are coming back already. Woo! So, I don't know what I was talking about before I looked at the tire, but pretty sure I went over everything important right now. The wind's picking up again, so I wanted to get down here in the morning and do some video, but I'm going to empty out not this drill, but the other drill over there, and then I'll pull the seed tubes and cups off, because I imagine we'll have to use a back drill again, even though we don't want to. There's a couple of press wheels. 1, 2, 3. There's 3 press wheels on this main drill that need to be replaced. So I'll just rob them off of this drill, because this is the parts drill now. And it loves it. Look at that fancy farmer fix right there. Who says you can't fix stuff with generic parts? Well, the seed tubes are proof you can't fix stuff with generic parts. But anyway, I'll put press wheels on the other drill, and just stuff like that's what I'm doing. And then maybe we can finish up. So hopefully the next segment that is long will be when we're all done, and we can be happy about that. So I'm going to get to work, and we'll see what happens. All right, well, we're not done. So it is October 6th, I think. It's a Friday, so it's been several days since the last bit that you saw. The big field is finally done there and all the way over there, and the rye is starting to come up in a few spots. It's not very tall. It's only a couple inches tall. But the big field is finally done. you notice the drills back there. So that piece there, along the neighbor, where the darker soil is at, that's us. That's done. I finished planting it yesterday. And now we're down to the final 3 pieces. And they have to be plowed. So, got the tractor hooked onto the plow. And I don't remember if I've been clear about this or not, but Dad has a full-time job that he works. And so usually he's around to do stuff like this. But he's pretty busy this year. So, he's been doing that. And I've been doing all the stuff I normally do, which is part of the reason it's taken us so long to plant. And so it's only been a couple, 3 days since I finally finished the last of my had-to-do projects. And so now I am the one coming out here to run the tractor and finish stuff up. But since it's a Friday, tomorrow Dad should be out running. But I need to get this piece plowed. And this white plow, that's the brand, not the color. Obviously, I'm not that stupid. It's 449 plow. It's pretty nice, but we're not here to talk about that necessarily. It's doing a good job. Yesterday, Dad came out and I rode with him. This is the 5th round we're on now, I think. And so it's doing a good job. It really is. The soil is hard. It's white, needs to be plowed. It'll have to be disked down, but I need to check the oil here, and look at that, we're good. I know the camera didn't focus, but that's just the way it is. I want to get this thing started so it can warm up a little bit, and then I'll tell you guys the rest of what's going on. Good grief. So yeah, it's doing a pretty good job, covering about 10-12 foot at a time, which takes forever, but it's breaking it right up. We did get a 1/2 inch of rain a couple, 3 days ago, which helped a lot. We were able to plant that piece right there. It widens out over here, but we were able to plant that after the rain because it softened the clods up, because we had clods about like this, and Dad didn't really want to disc it again, and I didn't either. So it was wet enough yesterday, the drill just planted, and we'll see what it does. But here, this has to be plowed. And then there are 2 more pieces, which, let's start the tractor first. It's a little bit brisk today. Just a little bit. Cool off. Cold front come through, so now it's only like 58 degrees outside instead of 90, which is what it was 4 days ago. But we got 2 more pieces left. One of them is not right there. It's past that. It's a corner. And then there's another piece. You can't really see it, but it's over. Well, yeah, you can. Right past those trees. Right off the end of my finger, which the camera won't focus. But those are the last 2 we have to do. And both of those pieces put together are about as big as this entire piece, and it goes down there past where you can't see it. But that's what we have left to do. It's not that much. It's just, stuff's not been going super good. It's just slow. That's all it is. The wind has blown every day, except yesterday. I was going to get the camera out yesterday, but I forgot. So, let's look over the plow here, make sure the tire's not going flat. That's good. This plow, we traded the neighbor. We had a hay rake, and we traded it to him, and he traded us this plow because he had 2 of them. And so we got one. That tire's good. So that's what's been going on. That's what we have left to do. Nothing exciting. I was hoping to be done by now, but now maybe this weekend? I don't know. I gotta plow this first. And plowing, just in case anybody was curious, we've been running second range and either first or second gear. The way that this works most of the time, on this pass, that pass, we can do second gear. But on this strip that comes back, there's a bunch of cattle trails there, and it just lugs down something awful. I mean, it does not like that. So gotta drop it down to first, and it'll pull it in first without a lot of protest, but second gear is a little much in a few spots. So I'm gonna let this warm up for a little bit more, get to work, and maybe this time when I come back we'll be done planting. That'd be awesome, because I should be doing like nothing right now. This should be my break time. You know, I usually take like a week or two to not do much and recuperate, and then we start in on the fall and winter projects. But instead, no, freaking planting is cutting into my vacation time. So, oh well, that's the way it is. I'm making her work now. I joined both parts of the field together, the passes, and so it wanted to slide off. Had to drop down to first gear. But it's plowed nice. I'd switch gears, but I'm almost to the end. I might as well leave it first. Now we'll go back in a second. Yeah, there's still quite a few spots out there where it's pretty damn hard. But I'm getting there. I gotta steer. It's hard to film and drive the tractor one hand. But I mean, it's not working bad. It needed to be plowed last year, and we just flat didn't have time. So this is only the second time it's been worked this year, but it's not too bad. That rain really helped break all that loose. Now watch this. It's one of the things I love about this plow. It self-steers that rear end and helps kick it around, or it should, so that I can make tighter turns. Alright, I gotta pay attention to what I'm doing now. Alright, almost done. Got one more pass. We're gonna see if I can do it relatively one-handed without messing it up. Oh, well, this top part, that's a lot of turning, I tell you what. There she is, right up there. Think we can get her? I don't really want to turn around again and come back and hit it. Beautiful. Just beautiful. All right. This piece is now plowed. That took a while. But she's all done. I'll go ahead and get this parked. We'll have to come through and disc it for certain just to get rid of some of these weeds, but it should grow a hell of a winter crop. Well, or winter pasture anyway. It should grow pretty good. Oh my. Nice shiny plow bottoms. I only had to turn 8,000 times. Get around that line that sticks up. That's all right. Finally done. Now I did miss some spots. Part of that was because I'd stare at something else and the tractor would drift and then it kicked the plow out. And then the other half was that the plow wanted to come out of the dead furrow anyway, so you know. That didn't help, but it'll disc down. That's really all that matters right now. So, next step, get this piece planted and then get those final two, and then maybe we'll be done for once. I know I keep repeating myself, but man, I'm telling you, I am tired of doing this. I'm ready to move on to something else. So, I think I'll just catch up again when we are done. Because that's probably when I'll remember to pull the camera out again. But today, it's a really nice day. Nice and cool. Tractor never ran hot. Everything plowed up nice. That's all I can ask for. So I'll just come back when we're done, I think. All right, I lied. We're not done. Shock, I know. We had a little mishap with the plow, and by little, I mean the hitch pin broke, and it tore up a bunch of hydraulic lines on the plow. It's not horrible. It could have been way worse. And it also ripped a couple of remotes clean off the tractor, broke the pipe off. The remotes are reusable. They seem to be okay. So yeah, that was fun. That was yesterday. Today is Monday. And so yesterday the lines that had the remotes ripped off of them, we capped them off on the tractor so we could go ahead and run the tractor. It's got 3 sets of remotes. It's just the other outside set, the lever really close to the seat is what runs them, so we generally don't use it. But we still have 2 usable sets of remotes on the tractor, but I'm pretty sure we're done plowing. So this line that goes from here to the tractor, because this cylinder is on its own circuit, the line that used to be here, the end where the connector's at, the hook into the remote, it got pinched real bad. So I'm going to replace this with one of the super long hydraulic lines that used to be on the drill, and I'll just coil the excess and we'll go from there. But this other line, which is dangling right there, it's fine. We don't need to worry about it. And then these lines that go back to that cylinder are okay. The only problem is the way it's set up. One set of remotes runs this cylinder and that cylinder. So the fluid comes from the tractor to here, and then there are a couple of T's and they go back there. And I've got the new fittings and everything. They're just a couple of 8MP to 8FPTX. I'm still getting used to the numbers for the hydraulic fittings, but it's a male pipe and then 2 female swivels. I believe it's 8 MP to 8 FPTX, I think. Anyway, so I'm going to put all that on, and then we'll bring the tractor over here. It's hooked onto the spring tooth now, and this is that center piece in the home pasture. So that's the corner. Right over there is that big piece you just saw me on plowing, and then this has been plowed, and this piece has been mostly plowed. You might be able to see right over there. There's a real light spot. Dad decided it wasn't worth trying to make 2 more passes with the plow, so he just went ahead and spring toothed it, and we'll just drill it, and it'll do what it is supposed to do. But if we look over there to the big field, we can kind of see it's changing color. The rye is up, and it is growing. A couple more weeks, we should be able to see it really well, and that'll be nice. Cows are already out eating on it and kicking up dirt because, you know, that's what they do. So yes, the closer we try to get done, the more setbacks we have. So I'm going to get some hoses put on the plow, and then I'll come back when we're done planting, finally, maybe. All right, today is Thursday, October 12th. I am driving back down to the field, but we are done planting all the important stuff. So that small piece there is done. Get on top of the hill here, you'll be able to see the corner. It's done. Cows are out this morning. Classic. Man, somebody needs to fix this road better. Good grief. So yeah, the corner there is done. Hold the camera right, sorry. And this little strip ahead of me here, again, hold the camera right. That little strip still needs to be planted. We do have a little bit of grain left, and the drill is filled back up. I grabbed a little too much when I went to get more, but that's okay. We'll plant it later. So what I'm doing is I'm on my way down to the field to go ahead and unhook the drill from the tractor, fill the tractor full of fuel so the fuel tank doesn't fill up with water from condensation over the winter and all that, and then I'm gonna put the dump trailer on it and go back it into the shed to keep all the water off of it. And then later on, some of these cows aren't staying, they're just here temporarily. They're not ours, they belong to somebody else. He comes and he rents the ground from us. Move out of the way, Stumpy. Little calves want to race me. But when these cows are gone of his, we'll come out and we'll plant the rest of it just kind of in the grass and stuff and just see what it does. We won't worry about putting it in actual farm ground. So that's what I'm on my way to do. And I would do more video and stuff like that and make it a little more interesting, but it is so windy right now. It's supposed to be even worse. We're supposed to have gusts up to 50 miles an hour today. And then for the next 3-4 days, it's supposed to be super windy. Maybe not quite that bad, but pretty close. So I'm not going to be outside doing much. I'll be inside. I'll put this together, and I've got some other stuff I'll put together and work on and do. But yeah, this little strip here needs to be planted. But that corner there on the other side of the fence, that's all done. Gosh, I need to stay on the road. You guys are bad for me driving. I can't do that one-handed and watch where the camera's at. And what are you doing, sweetheart? Want to go rub on the post, and oh no, I knocked the gate down and now I got to go through. Yeah, little snot. His mom doesn't care. So that's what I'm up to, and as you might be able to see on camera here, the rye's already come up. This is the piece along the neighbor, and it's coming up and looking good. This should be up. This is that big south piece I was plowing. That should be up in another day or two, and then the big field out here, I'll show you a little bit. I think I can anyway when we get closer, but the big field is doing much better. It's taken off, and they're already out there eating on it, so you know, whatever. It's not gonna hurt it much. See, because like this piece is always open and they always eat on it the minute it comes up, and it never hurts it. So we're finally done. It only took us about 3 weeks when it should have taken us 3 days at most, but it just happens. But we're done with it, and we should have pretty good rye pasture, what with all the plowing we did. And we'll just get everything kind of tucked away, and when the wind dies down, I'll come back outside and do some more stuff. But, you know, I don't think it's going to hurt me to stay inside for a few days and not do too much, because I've been going non-stop since, I don't know, April, approximately. Oh, so rough. So, I don't know how well you can see across the way there, but it's turning green. The camera's not going to focus, whatever. And then, yeah, cows are already all out there. See those little black dots? Those are cows. And man, this stuff is really taking off. Let me get a little closer and you can see some of the spots that were planted just because we were driving through it with the drill. That stuff is already pretty tall, and it might be just because it got planted shallow, I don't know. Usually when we plant, it's in 4 inches of like powder, and this year we actually got it in some really good moisture, and a lot of spots were plowed, so it should do really good. Yeah, you can kind of see right up here how good it's doing. It's really taking off. And yeah, they're gonna go out there and eat on it. They've got plenty of other grass to eat, you know, because like this here, this bottom, it runs all the way up through there. That is full of Bermuda grass, and that grass is still really tall and nice and green, but the cows are lazy and they like to go eat the new stuff that's nice and tender because, again, they're lazy. They're not hurting for food. And then there's an entire north end of the property they haven't utilized at all year, because they've been down south here where the pond is at, because they're just too lazy to leave the pond. They'll eat the buffalo grass off to nothing, and then they'll be like, oh, I have to go up north and eat. Yeah, they're so spoiled. They really are. So they got plenty to eat. They don't need to be out here. But when we were going to get them all out of this pasture and close the gate to keep them out while the rye grew up, well, then they started having calves, and we didn't want to shut the gate and stop the moms from being able to get to their calves, because that would have been bad. And they like to huddle in these freaking weeds and stuff, and you can't see the little farts. So we just went ahead and left the gate open. This is probably going to be tilled under in the spring anyway, so it's not a big deal. We're not cutting this for grain. So yeah, that should conclude the 2023 planting. I'm going to get the tractor disconnected, fueled, get that trailer in the shed, stuff like that, and then I'm probably just going to take it easy for a few days, and that will be a welcome change of pace. So if you guys stuck around to the end of this production, whatever it is, I really appreciate it. I know it was all over the place, but it was something. I didn't want to come out of this without any content, you know. It's not ideal. Ideally, I'd do this a lot different. It'd be a lot more orderly. It'd be more structured. It'd look more professional, but that's just not how it worked out. So I appreciate you guys watching this, such as it is. I will get off of here, and this should be up within a week of today or something. I don't know. I got other stuff I need to upload too, so I'm going to work on that. And we will catch you guys later as soon as the weather improves a little bit. I got all sorts of little projects that will be videos on, so stay tuned for that. It should be pretty busy fall here on the channel. That's the hope. So stay tuned for that. You guys take care, and we'll see you later.